We're back for the first Rapid Rundown episode of 2024. There's a lot to get into this week. Joining me for the first episode of the new year is one of the great content creators from the folks of Morning Brew Sports, my guy, Hector Beauchamp. Hector, what's going on, man?
I'm good, Dexter. Hope all is well. Happy New Year. Super excited to be here. Thank you again for inviting me.
No, glad to have you here. You were here last year. You were in here in the studio as a spectator. You've been on with me for a bunch of stuff before, but I had to have you on the Rapid Rundown as a guest. It was time for people to hear and see your voice. We had to do that. And Hector, look, sports is buzzing this week. The Knicks, they're playing pretty well since the OG Anunoby trade. Aaron Rodgers, he continues to cause more drama off the field. But first, speaking of the drama, we got to talk about the Giants. The Giants season, it ended on Sunday, but Hector, I know you saw this. The offseason got real spicy. Now, according to reports, defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, he was not happy that head coach Brian Daboll fired two people on his staff, and then the two, Martindale and Daboll, they got into a heated argument with Martindale sharing a few choice words. Now, there's been a mutual parting of ways with the G-men for Wink. So, Hector, how much of this going down, for me, I'll tell you this, it seems kind of petty, right? Like, all of this seems really petty. So what do you make of this big blue drama?
You said two words, right, in what you just said, petty and drama. Those are two words that no fan wants to be associated with the team that they watch, the team that they cover. For me, the entire situation, Daboll kind of looks better, you know, coming out of the smoke when the smoke settles, but the situation wasn't handled properly at all. And I think it's going to be big going into this offseason for the Giants to figure out what they need to do when it comes to the defensive coordinator. But the one thing, as a Giant fan, we've always been able to pride ourselves, no matter what's going on the field when it comes to the team, we've always been able to look at our team and see that they carry themselves with a level of professionalism, right? And what we're seeing right now with the whole situation with Wink is that it's being played out through the media, and that's not professional at all. Being a Giants fan for the past 20, 25 years, this is something that is brand new to me, and it's something that needs to be fixed. The Mara family definitely shouldn't be happy with what's going on right now.
No, I don't think they can be happy, especially as you said, how it all came out through the media, getting the details. You know, for those who've heard what Wink allegedly said, all this
text messages leaked. We don't, you know, different stories are coming out, so you don't know what's real and you know what's fake right now at the moment.
Right, and it feels real petty and sloppy, drama-filled, like I said. Now, you kind of hit on something that I wanted to ask you, because Wink, according to those that cover the team, said he was well-liked by the defensive players on this team. So with that being said, how important is it that the G-men get the hiring of the next defensive coordinator correct, that he fits in with Daboll and the rest of the team?
It's very important. Defensive coordinators, one like Wink, they don't grow on trees, right? He was a phenomenal defensive coordinator. We saw what happened at the end of his tenure with the Ravens. But with the Giants and Daboll, they have to hit on this next hire. And hopefully this was a learning curve when it comes to Brian Daboll, when it comes to making sure there's an open line of communications, right? If I was working wherever and I was a supervisor, I would make sure the folks underneath me, if you have a situation, you can come with me. Open door policy. Let me know how you feel. And I think that's what didn't happen with Brian Daboll and Wink. And I'm not sure if Wink wanted to be a head coach and have his guys be his coordinators if he ever got that job. But hey, it's a battle of egos, and right now, you know, Daboll has won. Wink, he flew on a Spirit flight to Florida, decided to cut communications off, and didn't want to speak to anyone.
Man, put him on Spirit. Wow, damn, that's rough. That's rough stuff.
Allegedly.
Right. Allegedly. I'm like, damn, Wink Martindale could do better than Spirit. That's all I'm saying. I know he could do better than Spirit. That's for sure. What would be interesting in terms of getting it right? I wonder how much, as a Giant fan, just to follow up with you real quick on that, are you concerned about where Wink could go next? We know there's been some problems with the Eagles down I-95. Well, how concerned would you be if he went down in division to the Eagles?
Like I said, you brought up that word petty. This would be the ultimate petty. Yes. Kingy move if Wink was to go to Philadelphia, and then we'll have to deal with them for the entire season. But when you look at Philadelphia, what they are missing right now is that top defensive coordinator. So if if Wink was available, he'd be the perfect fit for them.
He would, and you know what? It's more petty, more drama. Some people are here for it. I know the Giants fans like yourself, they're not here for it. You don't need that right now, but
I enjoy my cup of petty and drama, but not when
it affects your team.
Not when it affects my team. No.
I can understand that. That is understandable. Okay, moving on to the Knicks. The Knickerbockers, they improved on the season. They didn't improve. They are 22-16 on the season after they lost in Dallas. They are 5-1 since the OG Anunoby trade. So I got to ask you this. What did you make of the Anunoby trade? And do you think Anunoby has taken New York to another level here on the court?
When it comes to the OG trade, I was shocked. When it happened, I was literally in Florida. I was on the line at the Rent-A-Car Central, so I couldn't go live and report on it. But when the OG trade happened, I was shocked at first because obviously, as a Knicks fan, we love to root for our young guys. Quickly, R.J. Barrett was young pieces that we drafted in the draft. And when it comes to the Knicks, we don't have a solid track record of drafting and developing players. So seeing R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly go, it hurt us at the moment. But after you saw the effect that OG has on the court, I don't think there's a lot of Knicks fans out there that wouldn't want to do that move a second time around if it was to present itself.
No.
For me, I'm sorry, real quick. For me, when it comes to OG, the way that he's able to move without the ball is the biggest piece, right? Having 3 ISO-dominated guys, Jalen, Julius, and RJ, it just didn't work. It didn't fit. It didn't work. Having OG to be able to know what his role is, defense first, cut to the basket, knock down my shots when I'm open, that right there has opened up the team, and it looks like a new version of the Knicks.
Yeah, it seems like already a pretty seamless fit. Like you said, not being able to always have the ball in his hands, doesn't need that, can score without it. It's been hitting the corner 3, playing excellent defense. It just seems like it was a pretty good fit for the Knicks. So that brings me to the next thing. It's a good fit, but you know how this goes, Hector. Everybody wants to know what's next. How good do you think the Knicks can be going forward, and what moves do you think the team has to make to improve this roster to truly compete in the playoffs?
We saw it in the last game against Dallas, right? This season, when it comes to the Knicks, facing off against teams that are under 500, the New York Knicks has the second best record behind the Denver Nuggets. We are 15-1 against teams over 500. We are 7-15 against teams that are over 500, right? So it kind of we kind of fall behind the 8 ball when it comes to competing against the teams that are in top on the East or the Western Conference, right? Tom Thibodeau needs to have a solid game plan when it comes to the defense. Against Dallas, I'm not sure if they was game planning for Luka. Luka likes to slow the game down, but the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving, they went full throttle, and they was pedal to the metal against the Knicks running that offense. And you saw them in the fourth quarter get a little bit better when it came to the defensive side against the Mavericks. But I think going forward, we have to key in on our matchups and make sure that the bench players come out and have a little bit more confidence going forward.
All right, so you're looking at that defense to see if they can improve down the stretch here. And we'll see if they make any tweaks to the roster. That'll be interesting to see. But right now, look, they're playing good. Outside of that Dallas game, with the proper energy, playing good basketball right now. Knicks fans have to be excited about that. Okay, the theme of this episode is pretty much drama. Aaron Rodgers, he constantly stays in the news, Hector. Hot topic. This week it was announced by Pat McAfee that after several comments Rodgers made on appearances on the Pat McAfee show, that the Jets quarterback would not be on the show for the rest of the NFL season. However, he was then back on the show the day after that. Just the announcement of it, I want to ask you about that and all that's happened with the Jets. Was that the right move to say he's not going to be on the show anymore? For everybody that's involved, was that the right move to say that he will not be on the show going forward for the rest of this NFL season?
This season in general, when it came to New York football, was very interesting, both for the Giants and both for the Jets. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, we understand what comes with that. It's a lot of extra comments that are off the field. But as a Jet fan going forward, the only thing you want from your quarterback is to rewrite the story that was this season, right? A saving grace that Aaron Rodgers and the Jets have for next year, if everything hits and they hire who they have to hire this offseason and get who they have to get this offseason, if they turn around and win a Super Bowl next year, all of this will be forgotten from Jet fans, right? But if Aaron Rodgers, if they drop the ball and it's another season of not making it to the postseason or coming short of the Super Bowl, Jet fans aren't going to let this live down when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers' legacy is on the line this year, and I think he should have some extra pressure attached to that.
Oh, there'll be pressure for sure. There's no doubt. I think a lot of people want to see what he can do in 2024. There's a lot you're banking on with a 40-year-old quarterback in the next season, so it'll be really interesting to see. But as I said, Hector, this man, Aaron Rodgers, constantly in the news after a season which was not good for the Jets fans, only played 4 snaps. You kind of are alluding to this. Is it time for the focus with Rodgers to simply be on football and not all this other stuff, like what he says on the Pat McAfee show or things of that nature? Is it time for the focus with him to just be on football?
It should have always been just on football, right? I enjoy a good conspiracy theory like the next person, right? I have a tinfoil hat at home specifically for that. But no, it needs to just be football going forward. And if you're Pat McAfee, he said what he said. I'm not going to have him on, but then he had him on. It's all for the clicks. It's content. That we understand Aaron Rodgers, he's content gold. And if you're someone like a Pat McAfee or myself, if I was able to have Aaron Rodgers on my show all the time, I would, just for the clicks, just for the content. But it should be all about football going forward, and that should be his primary focus.
Yeah, I think it should be. It's going to be interesting to see if that is the case for the Jets and their fans, where they can just talk about football, no drama. But you know what? We weren't able to not talk about drama on this show. It was filled with drama around the Jets, the Giants. At least there was no drama with the Knicks. At least we can say that there was no drama.
Knock on wood. Don't want to.
But we'll see what happens with that. For the Jets, still some drama around there. Okay, I have Hector here, part of the Morning Brew sports crew. You do the Yankees Morning Brew, you do the Knicks Morning Brew. I know you're a big Yankee fan, so I couldn't let you go. I had to give you a bonus question because we got to have this. This has to be coming. The Yankees, they signed Marcus Stroman, and there's a little history between Marcus Stroman and the Yankee fans, where some Yankee fans might be uncomfortable with this signing. How are you feeling about this signing? Do you like this signing? Is this a good one for the Bronx Bombers?
For me, as a Yankee fan, and again, this offseason, a roller coaster. Anxiety, emotion. We didn't get Yamamoto. We got Juan Soto. And after losing out on Yamamoto, we were still looking, what is Brian Cashman going to do? What is the plan B? What is he going to fall back on? Is he going to trade for Corbin Burns? Is he going to sign Blake Snell? A lot of Yankee fans have been trying to figure it out. Yankees Twitter has been going crazy ever since we lost out on Yamamoto, waiting to see what the secondary move is going to be for Brian Cashman. Marcus Stroman, when news came out that the Yankees were interested in Marcus Stroman, at first I was against it, knowing that he opted out of his contract with the Chicago Cubs. He left $21 million on the table. So I'm like, if you opted out of $21 million, you may want more than that. And I don't think I was comfortable for the Yankees giving Marcus Stroman $20 to $25 million a season. But for $18 million a season for this year and next year with an option afterwards, totally comfortable for it. He is an innings eater. He is a dog. He is a local New York kid that always pitches with a chip on his shoulder. Last year, if you look at his numbers for the first half of the season, he was in contention for the NL Cy Young.
Yeah,
he was not healthy in the second half of the season, missed a bunch of starts, had issues with his hip. But the one thing about Marcus Stroman, it was not an issue with his shoulder or his elbow. Right, and I think going forward with the Yankees' injury history, that's something that I'm like, all right, cool. I'm solid if we bring in that guy. But again, what is the secondary move? Is it just Marcus Stroman and that's it? This is the roster that's going into spring training. I don't think Yankee fans will be satisfied with just this being the only move that Brian Cashman does. So whether that's Josh Hader, whether that's going out there trading with the Guardians, Emmanuel Clase, we still need to get another starter or another reliever for that bullpen.
That's going to be interesting to see what the Yankees do. But I'm glad that you're not being petty.
No.
You're not being in your feelings.
No.
You're okay with Stroman coming in, even though we had to block some fans and said some things about the Yankees. You're fine with that because you're out here trying to get another championship. That's what you want to see.
For you Yankee fans out there that do not like Marcus Stroman because of the Twitter antics that goes on, just block him. Just block him. That's all you got to do. Just block him. He won't see what you write about him. You won't have to see what he writes on Twitter. Just block Marcus Stroman if that's the case. But for me, it's Twitter. Everybody said some things 5 years ago that if they could go back in time and delete it, they could delete it. Marcus Stroman decided to delete and erase his entire Twitter feed when it comes to anything related to the Yankees or Brian Cashman. But the internet lives forever because the detectives at Yankees Twitter, they were out there and they found the receipts. But the stuff that he said about the Yankees or Brian Cashman when it comes to the team and the product on the field, it's not anything that I haven't said as a Yankee fan. With the amount of money that the Yankees spend yearly on their payroll, they should be contending for a World Series every year. They should be in the World Series every year with the amount of money that they spend. And that's all Marcus Stroman has been saying, really.
Yeah, you can't really mad at that. It sounds like he wants to win, which I know Yankee fans want to do as well, too. Well, see, look, we talked about that. No drama with the Yankees.
No drama.
So that was good. That is my guy, Hector Beauchamp. Catch him out with the Morning Brew Sports Crew. Knicks Morning Brew, Yankees Morning Brew. Does such a great job. Hector, I appreciate you coming on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown. Got to have you back. Got to do this again.
Of course, Dex. I appreciate you, like always coming onto our shows, always supporting us, and inviting me up here. So whenever you want to do it again, I'm here. Send the bat signal. I'll be here.
Hey, man, you know I'm a fan of what you guys do, and I'm glad to have you here and just be able to talk sports. Always a blessing to be able to do that. Again, check out Hector Beauchamp. Go follow him, everything he does with the Morning Brew Sports Crew. We'll see you next week, next time on the New York Sports Rapid Rundown.